Okay, so if you watched my top 5 Wednesday, or when I publish it, I have not published this yet. But by the time I finish doing this, it will be published. Um, well, I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. I just filmed it. That's why I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. Which I love with this. I thought this was really funny. Running late is my cardio. I thought that was funny, and I like sweatshirts. I still like sweatshirts. I'm getting like as long as they're not super bulky and they're cute looking. I've been definitely getting more back into wearing sweatshirts. But I used to not. I used to not like wearing them before. So I felt like doing a tag, and that is the Goodreads tag. I will post a link to the original creator when I'm done filming this. Hopefully I can find it because the last two tags I did, the original creator's video got taken down. I don't know if that means that person is no longer on BookTube or their video they just decided to take it down. I don't know, but hopefully I'll be able to find this one. I believe it's an old one though, so I might not. Okay, so question number 1. The last book you marked as read, and that is Miss Houdini by Victoria Kelly, which is about Harry Houdini's wife, Bess Houdini, and the beginning of the story, the present of the story is after Harry's death, and Harry on his deathbed told Bess that he would find her and communicate with her through a coded message that they shared. And because he wanted proof that the supernatural was real, and most people who pretended to be psychics and stuff, and who claimed that it was real, that they were all frauds. That, and so he wanted to try and communicate with her, and tell her that. Tell her what heaven is like, and she wants to see him again, and hopefully maybe he can come back. And she suspects that these photographs that will be communicated towards her he's communicating with her through these photographs by the famous photographer, Charles Radley, and there's some strange connection that she wants to figure out. The book goes back and forth between the present, where she's trying to figure this out, and she meets with Charles Radley, but it also goes back to the past, where there are beautiful woven romance, his obsession with the supernatural, and how he wants it to be real, and their complex, complicated relationship, and so it was a really good book. I really liked it. I love historical fiction where it takes real history and takes some of the true aspects and mixes it with fictionalized aspects, and you have this really interesting story, and I really liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars because I wasn't like in love with it, but I really enjoyed it at the same time. Okay, question number 2. What are you currently reading? I am reading 2 books, but one of them I'm more focused on the other. I am reading Postern of Fate. I am only 4 chapters in. It is an Agatha Christie novel. But so far I've read The Murder at the Vicarage, The Orient Express, Murder on the Orient Express, Spider's Web. Although on Goodreads it doesn't mark it's not under Agatha Christie's name, but it is an Agatha Christie novel. So I'm guessing when she published that one, she had to change her name, because this was when she was in the 1920s, so I imagine like women authors weren't taken seriously, so she had to change her name so she would be taken seriously as an author. I'm guessing, I don't know. This is one of her novels, Postern of Fate. I don't know much about it. I've only gone in 4 chapters in, but it's a quick read. So far is this woman, this couple has moved to a new house, and the woman is going through all their library books, their own personal books, and books that the original owners of the house had left behind, and while going through them, she finds a coded message in one of the books. So I remember I got really excited the fact that she loves books and that she puts so much importance on books. That got me really excited. So that's as far as I got in this one. But I'm mostly focused on this book, Stars Above, which is Marissa Meyer's novella collection. This is I'm enjoying this. It's basically all the novels each novella is a story about the events that led up to what happens in Lunar Chronicles, and kind of explains how the characters end up where they are in the original trilogy, in the original series. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. It kind of I feel like it's kind of set up how Sarah J. Maas's Assassin's Blade is set up, where it's a bunch of novellas or short stories that are about the events that led up to what happens in the Throne of Glass series. So I really like this one. I'm enjoying it. It's a good read. I'm getting through it rather quickly. As you can see, I'm on page 201, which is the story about the Princess Winter and Jason, the guard that she falls in love with. I love all the couples in this. And I really like how, instead of him being the love interest in Winter is not a prince, but he's a guard. I really like that story. I like how he's not just some handsome prince. He's a handsome guard. I like that. I think that's cute. And I also like that, and I think a lot of people probably appreciate it, that Winter is not just a princess, a white girl with black hair. She's also, I learned this while looking up what the characters look like on this site dedicated to Marissa Meyer, and apparently on her site, she said, Marissa Meyer said that, or I guess someone found out that she said that Princess Winter is actually black, which I did not know that. So that's really cool. So I'm enjoying that. I'm liking how we get more backstory on the characters, just like with Ferris. So those are books I'm reading. I got 2 other mysteries I need to read, which, like I said, I'm with mysteries, and I like historical mysteries rather than thrillers. I like mysteries, detective stories that are historical rather than the modern day thrillers. But they still kind of have that formulaic aspect that kind of bores me after a while. But I want to keep reading Agatha Christie because she's like the original detective. Well, no, actually Sherlock Holmes is the original detective, but she is next. Okay, so that was question number 3. Question number 2. So question number 3. Last book you marked as to be read. I said Monstrous by Lou Marjorie, Volume 1, Awakening, because I want to get into more graphic novels, and I heard that was a good one. And I saw that one at Books A Million, but I also spent money and already bought the first 3 Lunar Chronicles, and I still need to buy Winter. And I also got a Christmas gift for my friend, and I'm supposed to be technically buying. It's not about me. I'm not supposed to be buying for myself, but that's something, I told myself that I'm not going to buy for myself in the next, the rest of November into December, because I didn't ask for books for Christmas. So I'm going to try to control myself, but I'm horrible at self-control, especially since the used bookstore, the most expensive book is $5. But I want to keep the money that my mom took out of the bank for me. Okay, so that's the 2 Monstrous. I heard that was a really good series. It sounded really good. Question number 4. What book do you plan on reading next? I do not know. I'm just going with whatever the mood strikes me. There are a lot of books I want to read, and there's a lot of books that I started that I need to finish. Like I said, currently I'm reading. Maybe the Postern of Fate will probably be the next book. But I might read another book at the same time while I'm reading that one. Especially if I don't read fantasy, I have to read another book to go along with it. You know, if I'm not reading fantasy. So I mean, I guess Posture of Fate probably would be the next book. But I already said I don't know. Okay, question number 5. Do you use the star rating system? Yes, but it is very complicated, and I don't. Sometimes I feel guilty for giving a lot of books 5 stars. I try to pick the books that I just think are okay. I try to give them 3 stars, or if they're a little bit better than okay, and I'm really enjoying them, but I'm not necessarily in love with them, I give those books 4 stars. I've only given one book, and that was The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty. I just thought that was trash, and I don't mean that I'm trash for it. I mean, it was trash. I feel like it was a porno. And, that's the only book I've ever given 1 star. The rest of the book, I've never even given a book 2 stars. I've given mostly 5, 4, or 3 stars. But even the books that I've given 5 stars, I feel guilty because I've donated them to the bookstore, and I feel like people would probably think, well, then you must not love the book that much if you're willing to give it away and not keep it. But that's not true. So, I mean, and I know that, so I really shouldn't feel guilty about that, but, I do. But I'm trying to, lessen my book buying, So, of course, as someone posted a meme of Sean Bean as Boromir saying, one simply does not walk into, but instead it was simply, one does not buy books. That was hilarious, because that fits me to a T. So I have a hard time with the star rating system, but I still use it, because it's there, and I feel like, just like, I feel like I may as well use the goal, and set a Goodreads challenge. I feel like I may as well use the star system. And it might be good for me, think about that. Because in being more careful with the books I buy and read. Okay. Well, yes, I'm doing a reading challenge. That's question number 6. Are you doing a reading challenge? And I said, currently my reading challenge, I changed it. I kept saying, a different amount of books, but then I didn't want to, complete it before the end of the year, so I changed it to finally land on 90 books. But next, I've decided, since I can just add on to my original challenge, I am going to lower my goal next year and just add on to, which I think that's why some people will make the challenge only 1 book, because then they can just add on. So I'm going to lessen my goal, do more than 1 book, I'm not going to make it just 1 book, but I am going to not make it as much, and just add on. I don't utilize the wish list. That's question number 7. Do you have a wish list? I do not have a wish list, but there are a lot of books I want to read, and I probably have a Goodreads document that is a wish list. What book do you plan to buy next? Well, so I originally, because I like to pre-plan this when I do a tag, or, the top 5 Wednesday videos, and originally said the Lunar Chronicles, but I have the first 3 books already, because I bought them as of last night. So I'm going to, probably my next book will be Winter, and also I'm going to start rebuying Kate Morden's books of hers that I read. She writes standalone historical fiction that are a lot of times they're mysteries. So I'm going to rebuy those 2. So maybe one of those books will probably be another buy too. But I'm, as I said, I'm going to try not to buy books the rest of November into December. But I have poor self-control, so. So Winter, I guess, will be the next. Because they had the hardback there, but I want to get the paperback. I mean, I'm not as picky as some people, but I admit, it does look weird. and bothersome when you have all paperback or all hardback, and all of a sudden, you have one that's different. But I mean, like the Mortal Instruments, which I am donating those, but I will keep reading Cassandra Clare's books. Her Shadowhunters Chronicles. Some of those are hardback editions. So, and like in Infernal Devices, which is still on my shelf because I want to read that one. This Clockwork Prince is actually a paperback edition, and then the other two in the trilogy are hardback editions. But I mean, if it's I'll buy whatever is there, whatever is the cheapest, which is the paperback. Although I think in the UK it's the complete opposite. Or at least the paperback the hardback comes out first in the UK, I believe. But I'm waiting for the paperback, and the paperback for winter will come out in January at our store here in Pinehurst. So I'm going to, technically Southern Pines, actually. So I'm waiting on that. And I've already read the series, so I know what happens and everything, so I'm not in a rush to get it. But I have a Lunar Chronicles book on Facebook, so I'm tempted to offer a chance for everybody to reread the book. If they want to do a read-along with me. But everybody has a lot going on, so, including myself now, because I finally have a job. So, I don't know, but that might be an option. But at least I'm not going to set a specific date for them to get it done if I do that. Because I'm also doing the Goodreads Book Club, Big Books Book Club on Goodreads and Facebook. So I guess Winter Chronicles or a Kate Morton novel. Okay, so do you have a favorite quote? No, I do not. Although I really love the scene in Jane Eyre where Rochester's trying to convince her to leave. It says she's like attached to him like a string that's attached to his rims. And she's like, I have an independent will which I now exert to leave you. You can't, you're gonna get married to Blanche. I can't say that whole thing. I love that, her little monologue in that scene when she's like, I am a free human being. Yes, I've not experienced, it will put me in anguish to be torn from you, but I am an independent woman. I am not going to let that dictate my life and everything, and just that whole speech. I don't remember it right now. I mean, I've tried to memorize it over the years. And I no longer have the book in my possession because I gave it to my cousin because I know that she loves Jane Austen, or at least she loves Pride and Prejudice. And I feel like I want her to read that book. So I ended up giving her my copy. So I guess in a way that's my favorite quote, but I don't remember it at the moment, so. Okay, so question number 10. Who are your favorite authors? Stephen King, Sarah J. Maas, George R. R. Martin, Kate Morton, Maggie Stiefvater, and V. Schwab. Some of these are very, some of them only read one of their series, and of course, Sarah J. Maas has only written 2 series, to be fair. In V. Schwab, I'm still kind of working my way through. In Maggie Stiefvater, I've only read the first 2 books in the Raven Cycle. I don't have any interest in the Wolves of Mercy Falls series, but that's not because of her as an author, because obviously she's on this list, because I love her writing style in the Raven Cycle so far, but I have no interest in paranormal fantasy anymore. I mean, I might make an exception, but that series does not appeal to me really, not anymore. It would have appealed to me back in the day when I was a teenager. But I am 28 years old, despite how I look a lot younger than 28. So, in V. Schwab, I've only read the first book in her Shades of Magic series, but again, I liked her writing style, and I want to continue, and I did buy Vicious, and I have the second book in the Shades of Magic. Oh, I think my mom's talking to my nephew, so I'm going to finish this up real quick. So, number 11. Are you part of any groups? Yes. Tome Topple, hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, originally created by Ginger Reads Lady, basically where you read for 2 weeks books that are over 500 pages. I'm also on Prustopia Book Club, Top 5 Wednesday, and I created the Big Books Book Club where we're going to read big books. you know, and I tried to set specific dates when we would read those, but it's not happened because I still have not gone back to reading it. By Stephen King. And I also created a Hogwarts House Reads, which I was inspired by everyone who was recommending books related to their Hogwarts house. So I created that, but that has not gone well. It still exists because I don't know how to get rid of groups. And I feel weird getting rid of it. I would feel bad. So that's question number 11. That was, and that was the last question. Okay, so like I said, my mom is on the phone with my little 2-year-old nephew, so I'm going to end this. And when I publish this, I will post a link. If I can find it, I will post the link to the original creator. And I will talk to you guys later. I don't like tagging people because I don't know who's done these tags, and I feel like, yes, I mean, I have viewers, but I feel like I don't know a lot of booktubers as well. I mean, I've interacted with a lot of booktubers, but I feel like I don't know people enough to nominate them for tags. But if you want to do that, if you're one of my viewers and you want to do this tag, if you know, then go for it. And I will talk to you guys later, and bye.